I'm sure dealing with
historic Oxford Square. This is RebTalk on the Ole Miss Sports Network from Learfield in partnership with Super Talk Mississippi Media. RebTalk is brought to you by Boo-Ray, Oxford's upscale down-home restaurant on the square. Ceasefire, official wireless provider of Ole Miss Athletics. By Coca-Cola. Fans, there's magic when we cheer together. Let's create some magic with an ice cold Coke. Cheers. And by Gentile, the official apparel partner of the Ole Miss radio team. Now let's go live to Boo-Ray on the historic Oxford Square. Here's the voice of the Rebels, David Kellum.
And hello and welcome to Boo-Ray. Hi everybody, how you doing? Got a good crowd tonight. We got a lot going on, don't we? We got RebTalk tonight. We got the Tad Pad game tomorrow night. Who's going to the Tad Pad game? Woo! Can't wait. Hope it doesn't rain. See, they know. That's people who've been around here a while. Ticket holders. They know. Yeah. We'll put a bucket out there. Keep going. No big deal. I think they fixed that. We ought to be all right. And then, of course, Ole Miss and ULM on Saturday. Last home game. Rebels trying to bounce back from a tough one with the Georgia Bulldogs. We do look forward to that. Hey, coming up on the show tonight, in our first long segment, we've got a recap. We're going to listen to the 2001 SEC West title team from the Tad Pad. We're going to talk about the Tad Pad game, give you some ideas about that in that first segment. Then we got Coach Kiffin coming in right after that. And tonight, Oxford's own J.J. Pegues will be here. So looking forward to visiting with J.J. You know, his dad played for Arkansas State and actually scored a touchdown against us. And I've got that audio. So we're gonna dump it on J.J., see what he thinks about Dad scoring a touchdown out there. We beat him pretty bad, but he at least got a TD, that's for sure. Y'all give it up for my buddy here, Brandon Hudspeth. Hey, B-Hud.
What's happening, DK?
Man, just rocking and rolling.
Yeah, you know, a tough loss at Georgia. We go over and, as we talked about all week, kind of had a free shot there at them and come out in the first drive like gangbusters and get the holding call and turn around and do it again. And you think, man, like, punch them in the mouth. Let's get after it. And then, defense just couldn't get enough stops. And, they're the best team in the country the last 3 years for a reason. And they showed why. And, we had a lot of injuries. You don't want to make excuses, but, there was a lot to dissect there and a lot to kind of go through. But at the end of the day, again, that was the best team in the country. And, we went toe-to-toe, you could say, for, a good amount of time, and then, just couldn't hold on. And
well, and
end result.
I watch every team every week, and I know people think I'm crazy, but you can ask my wife. And I fast forward through games. I have what I call a 21-point rule. If a team gets up 21, it's not really – occasionally somebody come back, but normally they don't.
Right.
So I watched every single game for Georgia, every single weekend, and I just kept getting this sense that they just don't look as invincible as they were, the previous 2 years, maybe not as dominant until we got there. I mean, they look great. And the eye test was very physical in both trenches. I think they're going to win the national championship. I'm going to be shocked if they don't. Plus, they're people that I've been friends with for years and years. After the game, said, you know what, that's the best we played all year long. And one guy told me, he said, we actually wanted to beat you.
Yeah.
So, we ran into a buzzsaw, but we hung in there for 14-14, and then things kind of turned. But, hey, our guys going to get up off the mat. They're going to play hard this week, and we're going to finish this thing and get to a good bowl game and see what we can do.
That's right. You got to, obviously you got to play the next game and put it behind you. And from everything you've heard out of the football offices, it sounds like that's exactly what's happened. As they put it behind them, they flushed it. They're moving on to ULM. We've got senior night, which is always really good to honor our senior class and go out the right way. And last time to hang out in the Grove, last time to experience the vault and be there to cheer on the Rebs. So hopefully our fans come out. And again, military appreciation this weekend. So there's a lot of really cool things around that. So it should be a great weekend in Oxford.
And then Coach Beard and the Rebels are hosting Sam Houston State tomorrow night. They're going at 8 o'clock. When I first saw that time, I went, oh, that's kind of late. But the Grove Rush is before that. So if you're involved in the Grove Rush, you can go do that and come over to the Tad Pad, watch the game. Tickets are limited.
Yeah.
If there are any at all.
Maybe even sold.
They may be gone.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyway, it should be a lot of fun to bring the Tad Pad back to life. We're looking forward to that. How about questions tonight when Coach Kiffin gets here?
So there's a few different ways to ask questions. I've already gotten some questions from in the room here. There should be some slips on your table. If not, Brock or Kieran will walk around and make sure you get a slip so you can write in a question, and I'll do my best to get those on. A lot of injury questions. Coach isn't going to answer questions about injuries, so we'll have to skip over some of those. But you can also jump on social media. If you're on Facebook, you can go to facebook.com/Ole Miss Sports. Jump in the live video player there in the comments and leave your question for us. Or if you're on X, you can tweet or X at DK.
X or
I guess, I don't know. I still say tweet.
I do
it's
too.
Twitter to me. You can tweet at RebVoice, R-E-B Voice. You can tweet at BHUD, B_HUD, H-U-D, or at our generic account at Ole Miss Network. And we'll check that here periodically and try to get your questions on.
Yep. So we look forward to doing that. A lot of you already sent us some questions, so we appreciate it as well. When we come back, B. Hud and I are going to talk more about the big game at the Tad Pad. Also, we're going to relive some memories of the Tad Pad, the 2001 SEC West title team. We come back on the Ole Miss Radio Network.
Boo-Ray is Oxford's upscale down-home restaurant on the square. Now for more Reb Talk, here's David Callum.
We're back at Tattoo Coliseum in Oxford. Picked up by Harrison, behind the back heel, and now the fans are definitely in this. Wade knocks it loose, and Lockhart has the steal. Beautiful job by Van Flanagan, who never smiles, just drills. As head coach Rod Barnes is going to cut down the net. Sanders has the rebound for Ole Miss. Backdoor cut more. Blocked off the glass by Holmes. Picked up by Harrison. Behind the back dribble. He brings it across the center line. Right side Harper. Harper drives out front Reed. Left side Flanagan for three on its way. Good! Buck Flanagan with the three. The Rebels are playing with some confidence. Bounce pass to Lockhart underneath. 5 seconds turns. Hooks a little six-footer no. Rebound Reed. Layup basket! That was huge! 8 points for Reed. He was playing the first half, but the freshman from Provine is rolling now. Razorbacks with the ball. Cleveland dribbles to the left wing. One-handed pass low to Satchel. Satchel working on Lockhart. Hook pass opposite side to Edens. Now low to Johnson. Knocked out of his hands from behind by Flanagan. Sanders has the loose ball on the drive. Layup. Bucket! 62-51. Rebels by 11. The Hogs have got to burn a Flanagan pulls up at the top of the circle, feeds left side. Harper for a three. Good! The Rebels are hot. 7-0 Ole Miss. And Tennessee has got to take a timeout. Full court, man-to-man. Ball will be inbounded by the Bulldogs in the backcourt. He's got to hurry. He gets it into Antonio Jackson. Slips and falls. Sanders steals the basketball. They grab him with 2.4 left. The slippery floor. Finally caught up with the Bulldogs. Wade right wing's got a three on its way. Good! Auburn needs a 30. Pearson off a screen, has it right wing, 7 on the shot clock, 6. He drives on Lucas. Lucas grabs him. He gets in the lane, slips and falls. Bounce pass to Sanders. Fires up a bank shot. It's good! He hit a three! Oh my goodness, it's good! How did that go in? An off-balance three. The Rebels lead by 6. Holmes another three. Another one is in for the right wing. What a beautiful sight. Red and blue confetti flying from the ceiling as Ole Miss finishes the regular season 23-6, a school record, 23 wins, 11-5 in SEC play, and the SEC Western Division Championship.
How about that 2001 team? Yeah, let's give them a round of applause again. Of course, we've lost Reed and Harper, and man, that's been kind of tough, but that was a great team, a lot of good players. Who was there the night that we won it? Anybody there the actual night that we finished the deal? That was really cool. 2001. That's a very young David Kellum, by the way. Gosh, 01 is
still
now.
Sounds the same. A little more excited.
Yeah.
It still sounds the same.
I don't have enough energy to get that way anymore. But anyway, great games that year. We had won 23 games, and you know the unique thing about it, B. Hud, is you can hear in those highlights. Anytime we do highlights from the Tad Pad, you can tell how doggone loud it was, and the atmosphere was phenomenal.
It was. It was a place when it was packed. You know, I had the pleasure of being the director of marketing for basketball whenever the Marshall Henderson years. We had 7 sellouts in a row, and when that place was full and the fans were into it, I don't think there was a louder place in the SEC to play. I mean, it was just because a lot of metal and things just kind of bounce off the roof, and you know it's circular, so everything kind of stays right in that area. But yeah, that 2001 team really special. The Provine posse and all those guys, and you know, lost some of them recently, but you know that was a really special team that made a pretty deep run into the NCAA tournament. And
yeah,
you know it a lot of people that are feeling nostalgic about the Tad Pad game are people that remember that team and that stretch of teams that played in the Tad Pad, and that's what makes it special, right? That was when we feel like in the late '90s we had a good run with with Carter and all those guys, and then those 2000s where you had some of the same teams that we just kept producing those teams and kept going to the tournament, and basketball was at an all-time high during that time. So
yeah, no doubt.
A lot of really cool memories, especially from that team.
They finished up 27-8. Coach Barnes was in his 3rd year that year. Mark Dukes, who helps us on the radio, was an assistant coach on that staff. Eric Bozeman, Wayne Brent. I mean, it was a really good staff, really good team. I think we finished like 14th in the nation overall, but what a fantastic year that was. And there were several other years that were really impressive and fun in the Tad Pad. But it was a tough place to beat Ole Miss when we had our team right.
Yeah.
We had a pretty good team. It was very difficult and very, very loud. In fact, one of the goals was to try to, recapture that at the pavilion. And I think when we're full in the pavilion, it's pretty good. Good atmosphere.
Right. That's right.
So I think we accomplished that.
You heard Flanagan on that. Flanagan was one of those that was just a role player, but was such a pivotal piece to those teams to do the things that he did. It seemed like he always came up with a big pass or a big shot or made free throw when you really needed it. And that was another kind of role player on that team that I always liked a lot about that 01 team.
Alan's uncle. I have to let Alan hear that. He may get said, let me tell you what your relative used to do for the Rebels. Although, I don't know, he came out of the gate with career-high rebounds and career-high in points the second game.
That's right, yeah.
Flanagan off to a pretty good start. But it's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow night. Sam Houston State comes in. They're 1-2 on the year. 8 o'clock, 7:30 will be our airtime on the radio. We encourage folks to come and be part of that tomorrow if you can. I think they've now approved live stream. I haven't heard that officially yet, but
I think that's in the works
because of the facility, and it's been gutted to some degree.
Right. We were planning not to use that facility again.
Yeah,
Here we are.
Yeah, and now we're trying to bring it back to life. And I love the thing about the confetti.
Yeah.
You know, the modern era, we got all this electronic stuff, and we can throw lights at you, and we can do all this stuff. They literally took bags of confetti up on a catwalk and shoved it off. That's the way we did it.
Yeah.
It worked, though.
Well, I was having a conversation with one of the marketing guys today about he came to me and said, "Hey, do you remember how to do the streamers on the catwalk?"
I said, no.
And I was like, "Yeah, vaguely." And so we were talking about it. He's like, "Man, that catwalk is shaky."
It is very shaky.
I said, "Well, good luck up there."
Well,
sir.
years
Good luck."
ago, we had concerts in the Tad Pad, and I went to a lot of those as a young guy. And then they determined that the infrastructure at the top wouldn't hold the lighting, and it was going to be dangerous, so they cut out the concert. So, yeah, I don't know if I'd walk up there.
Yeah, we need to tell Max that.
Yeah,
when he
tell
gets
him.
up there.
Get him.
Infrastructure may not be great.
Hey, you can join Holly Jolly Holidays in celebrating his opening weekend, Saturday, this Saturday, 4 o'clock. Enjoy ice skating, Santa, and more at the old Armory Pavilion. I've driven by there. It looks great down there on University Avenue. And then Sunday, you can head to City Hall for the ceremonial lighting of the square at 6 p.m. And for all the details, you can go to visitoxfordms.com/hollyjolly. I got to introduce Coach Bianco one year because Robin was out of town after the national championship game. It's a lot of fun, and they hit the lights. And
It is really cool.
It will be
and it's become
really
kind of
pretty.
It's become kind of a tradition. You know, obviously we light up the square, which is really unique for Oxford. Makes it that Hallmark movie feel to it. But you know, Fox's small business or small town is here filming starting today. They're filming through the weekend, so there will be even more of a magnifying glass on Oxford, which is great. You know, from a national media attention and people kind of seeing what it is. But Holly Jolly Holidays has a lot of fun things to do. We actually have a lot of friends that live in other towns that will text us or call us and say, "Hey, we're coming in for the weekend to ice skate or go do double-decker bus tour or go shopping or whatever." So it's become a big event and something that's really unique during the holidays when you feel like you're more of the local, seeing the local crowd, and you get to be a local, go to dinner and have fun, and
all these,
get out and about, get out of your shells.
All these aliens that invade us during the football season, right? Yes, I love it. I love it. It's for sure. We do grow pretty dramatically. Hey, True Care is changing the health care game, too, to help Mississippians live their best life by combining the experience of a national health plan with the local knowledge of Mississippi health providers. To learn more, go to truecare.ms. And Exxon reminds you can score $10 in bonus points. How do you do that? Hotty toddy fans, sign up online for the Exxon Mobile Rewards Plus program with the code WINOLEMISS at emrewards.com or on the app to get this $10 signing bonus for a limited time. We are at Boo Ray. Everybody get some good food? I see a lot of empty plates. You just kept eating to see if it was going to get better? Yeah. Boy, this place is awesome.
Dessert time.
Love Boo Ray. And hopefully everybody's been fed. And we got Coach Lane Kiffin coming up next. We'll be back on the Ole Miss Radio Network.
Hotty toddy Ole Miss. More Reb Talk from Boo-Ray on the Square continues now. Here's David Kellum.
In now, a pass. He's got his man. Priest going down the sidelines. Has the catch to the 10. Leaps over a man to the 5-yard line. It will be 1st and goal for Ole Miss on a great pass there. Watkins is in the backfield as well. The handoff is to Judkins running left. Has a little bit of an open. He breaks it to clear. He takes it in anyway. There are no flags. Touchdown, Ole Miss. Dart's going to take a quick snap, pitch it to Judkins. Judkins turns downfield. A flag flies. He goes into the end zone for a touchdown. The flags are in the Georgia end zone. Blown back is Edwards. There's the snap from the 28. He's got plenty of time over the middle. Diving effort is picked off by Ole Miss. It's going to be off the hand of Lovett. And the Rebels get a diving effort out of Dejon Anthony off the deflection, and that's going to stop this drive. Micah Muse is back to receive this punt. He had a 69-yard return earlier in the year, set 11.7 average. And Mazin is going to fake it, keep it. He runs. He gets to the 40, the 45, and now a flag comes very late. 2 flags very late. Some of the highlights from this past weekend's game against Georgia, presented by our friends at the Graduate Oxford. They sponsor our weekend review. You can start your game day off right. Visit Graduate Oxford, just steps away from University of Mississippi's campus. And whether you're in town for a big game or a local Rebel looking for some pre-tailgate grub, Graduate Oxford is the smartest place to stay for the Ole Miss fan. Everybody give it up for Rebel head coach Lane Kiffin. All right. How are you?
I'm great until you started playing those low lights. The Georgia game, so you reminded me of that. I was kind of past that, but
I brought it back up.
Afraid you're going to want to go there.
We have to sponsor those things. You know,
I got you.
Hey, one comment on the game, and then we'll move on. You'll get some questions, I'm sure. But we scored. They got 14. We got back to 14-14. At that moment in the game, you're feeling like, hey, we're going to hang in there. But they played really well the rest of the way, didn't they?
Yeah, I thought at that point it was going to, kind of be like an LSU game. Where both teams couldn't stop each other, and then obviously it went the other way. So I think even as late as the fake punt, if we could have just capitalized on that, it was 28-14, and get it to a one-score game, I think things could have been different. And then once it kind of got out of hand, it kept going that direction, which I've said before, sometimes this offense, there's a lot of great things about it, and the one bad thing is when it's not working and your defense isn't working, the score goes lopsided fast.
Well, and I thought, too, that Georgia played with a lot of intensity. In fact, I talked to some of the people after the game, said it's the best game they played all year. I said, oh, thanks a lot. You could have given us a little bit of help. But they look to me now with the eye test as dominant as they have the last 2 years.
Yeah, I think we hit a perfect storm of not playing well. They played great. They had great energy around him. You could just tell it before, and they announced Brock Bowers coming back. And so, it is a 2-time national champs that, they won 60-7 or something in the national championship. So it's not like it's their first time of, playing as well as anybody in the country or playing as the best team in the country.
Plenty of opportunity left for the Rebels, though. We got the last home game this weekend, and then we head down to Starkville taking on the Bulldogs, and hopefully looking at a pretty good bowl opportunity too.
Yeah, I think, I don't really like phrasing it this way, but sometimes, you got to look at it this way, that I think at the beginning of the year with all the question marks and loss of players and how the season ended last year, I think a lot of people would have signed up to say, okay, hey, you're going to be 8-2 with the chance to get to 9-2, then 10-2, and your 2 losses are Alabama and Georgia at their place. I think a lot of people probably would have taken that. Obviously, that would have meant that you beat LSU, you beat A&M, you beat Auburn at Auburn. So, there's still a lot of really good things about this season.
Coach, we talked about change absolutely. Change in college athletics, football, all our sports really, is becoming the norm. I mean, you're going to have to deal with this every year now, right? I mean, there's going to be new team every year because of the portal situation and because you brought in some guys that are playing the 1-year deal. So it's going to change kind of how all of you coaches deal with, a program.
Yeah, I think it is what it is. This is a system that was created with NIL and portal coming at the same time, and they didn't have a plan. And so it just kind of hit, and now you're in this where there's going to be a lot of years that you're going to be remaking half your roster every year. So that's not ideal. It's not fun, but it is what it is. And so all we do is just try to maximize the rules and the situations that we're put in. especially if we're not a program that really can necessarily sign top 5 classes every year. We know that that's probably not going to historically happen, so, you're going to have to be creative.
What's interesting, though, too, and B. Hud and I have talked about this as well, those guys that did transfer maybe from a lower division school to come up all have played better. Their numbers are better. That's got to be pleasing to you, too.
Yeah, I think we've had really good success with guys coming in and especially, as you say, from kind of lower conferences. And I think there's something to that, too. They appreciate it here. They appreciate the locker room, the facilities, the chance to play in the SEC instead of sometimes you get these other guys that are coming from other big places or necessarily bigger places, and they're like, well, our locker room was bigger, our stadium was bigger, and all that. And so I kind of call it like rich kid syndrome sometimes. They're so spoiled. These kids that come from smaller programs are a lot appreciative, and they're more hungry to prove themselves.
In position, we got ULM coming up this weekend. We're going to take your questions when we come back with Coach Lane Kiffin, see what your thoughts are about Rebel football. Don't forget, J.J. McGee's coming up a little bit later, Coach. We got J.J., local product.
He's one of my favorite guys. He is a little nervous, he told me during practice. He said he doesn't like really
nervous?
speaking in front of everybody, but, he's awesome.
Yeah,
and two-way player.
We'll loosen him up. We'll get him going. I found a play, actually, Brett Northwood wanted this for a pregame show, of his dad when he scored against us when he played for Arkansas State. So I'm going to play that for him tonight.
That's cool.
That'll be cool.
I know he and his dad are close, and they still have basketball one-on-one battles.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Ooh, I wouldn't want to play JJ one-on-one nothing. That's for sure. We'll be back with Coach Lane Kiffin to your questions next on the Ole Miss Radio Network.
Boo-Ray is Oxford's upscale down-home restaurant on the square. Now for more Reb Talk, here's David Callum.
Thank you. Welcome back. Reb Talk with Lane Kiffin tonight. We're looking forward to getting some thoughts from Coach, from you, questions that are up and coming. Don't forget, Country Pleasing Sausage is a family-owned company in Florence, Mississippi. Proud supporter of Ole Miss athletics, now being served in concession stands. Just say Country Pleasing, please. And the Ole Miss Golf Course still promoting stuff. And my man B. Hud went out there and bought some stuff from him, I think. But the Ole Miss Golf Course, you can check them out. The OleMissGolfCourse.com. Get tee times and maybe get some Christmas presents out there. What do you think? All right, B. Hud, your bat. Who you got, my friend?
We got first question from in the room from Wendell Wiggins.
Where's Wendell? All right, over there. Hey, Wendell.
Says, Coach, what was the biggest takeaway after watching the film from last week?
That, like you said, we started good on offense. We really didn't play good for the most part outside of the 2 series back-to-back at the end of the first half and start the second half on defense. And took away from it that we didn't play very well. They played their best game of the year, and when that happens, we're still a ways away from that program.
Mm-hmm. Got a question from the live stream and in the room. Jay and Ricky both are asking, is there seniors that you expect to come back for a COVID year, or is that something that you've kind of talked about, and maybe guys that have eligibility for that?
Yeah, we have a lot of guys in discussions, that have another year. And so it's kind of different than it used to be because some of them have already played the extra, so it's kind of some it's not necessarily doesn't make sense to go to the NFL. There are some players, we had some last year that were kind of like, I played long enough, I want to go take my shot. So there's actually a lot of guys in this area that could come back, whether they're thinking of leaving early or whether they're just using the COVID year to go to the draft, or some even done playing football. So we're kind of in a recruiting mode of our own players, which is a common theme nowadays.
Yeah. 2 things. One, how are you and the staff handling then senior day? Can they go through if they want to, if they come back?
Yeah, most of them are, even though some of them don't know for sure if it'll be their last game. They're still going through it just in case.
And then I know you got pro background too, and it helps your program for those guys to be wanted. Sure, we want to try to recruit them back, get them back the best we can, but the flip side is if that doesn't work out and they get that pro opportunity, that's good for our program.
Yeah, it's good for them. Obviously there's a lot of times we want them to stay, but also you got to remember, I talk to people all the time, say, well, what if they get drafted in the 7th or free agent? And I said sometimes that's their dream, and so they're not as concerned with, well, I could make more money if I waited a year.
Right.
And so the longer you do, you kind of understand that.
So that's going to be an interesting piece for the next few weeks too. What else you got, B. Hud?
Several questions about offensive line. I'll go with Hal here in the room. Says, what will our offensive line look like on Saturday? I know we had some injuries and people banged up last week.
Yeah, we did. So it'll end up a lot of rotations of the same. Having to move Vic to right tackle, which is where he had played before at Washington. He has to go back to left, and then Jeremy may jump out to right tackle. So we'll have a couple of different things.
Got a question from Jeb, your number one fan, still your number one fan, so that's good.
That's good.
He says, how much input do you have on senior day as far as playing seniors on the team? Is that something you like to do, or is it all based off of opponent and situation?
Well, we understand that, and so if there's opportunities, maybe some guys that are seniors that don't play very much to get them in, we definitely do that, score willing. Again, we got to win the game, and I know that everybody just thinks we're going to blow these guys out, but if you've been around doing this, as you have a long time, you've seen how these games can be very close when they're not supposed to be if you're not ready to play.
Got a good running back. Used to be here, Isaiah Woolard.
Yes, yeah. Isaiah did a good job here, and now he's there, and these guys run a lot of multiple defenses, and this will be a big game for them.
Got a receiver on the Blitnikoff watch list, so they got some pieces,
Don't they have another player?
I don't think so.
No,
I think he's
one?
the only one for La Monroe.
All right, Robert Cooper from In the Room says, great season, Coach. He says, is there anything that can be done about the excessive noise or noise makers at visiting places? He gives some examples. Obviously, cowbells at State. There was some whistling at Auburn. And he said the Georgia announcers seemed to go over on the third downs whenever we were on offense.
PA announcer, not the radio guys.
I know. It is what it is. Well, you ain't going to change any of that. So this is the SEC. These are the loudest venues and the most passionate fans, and it matters. If you look at the data of home wins and losses versus road, and especially at night, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
And when the same teams are playing each other the next year, it flips back the other way. So the home crowds here make a big difference. That's why I try to urge ours so much, because when they have been great, they've made a difference. And it does. You saw the center issues, the false starts last week. I mean, there's no way around it. It happens. It gets really loud. And things happen, and it causes more stress in players, and players don't play as well.
Yeah, their students there very early. Coach arrived at the stadium, and they were already packed and in their sections and saying some nice things to you.
They were not saying very nice things, but they were there early.
They were definitely early. Let's take a break.
Yep, go ahead.
And we'll come back. You got some more?
Yep.
We'll take a break, come back, and get some more for Coach Lane Kiffin. We got JJ coming up here in a moment as well. Gentile's official apparel provider, the Ole Miss Network. Check out their new collection of Ole Miss apparel, available now at gentileapparel.com or at Landry's in the Square the next time you're in Oxford. Gentile Apparel is a proud partner of Ole Miss Athletics. I got my Gentile. I think this is called, is this the tailgate? No, this has got footballs, and yeah, this is the tailgate pattern. I like it. Looks good. We'll be back shortly on the Ole Miss Radio Network.
Hotty toddy Ole Miss. More Reb Talk from Blue Ray on the Square continues now. Here's David Kellum.
Welcome back to Reb Talk here at Boo Ray on the historic Oxford Square. Reb Talk with Lane Kiffin. We got Rebel head coach Lane Kiffin getting ready for ULM. 11 a.m. kick. We got a 9 o'clock airtime on the radio. We'll look forward to the Grove and having some fun and playing this last home game coming up this Saturday. Of course, the Tad Pad game we mentioned is tomorrow night, too, as the men's basketball team is hosting Sam Houston State at 8. We got some more questions, though, for Coach Kiffin. What you got?
We do. Question from in the room says, Coach, you look so calm and collected walking down the Walk of Champions. What is going through your mind? By the way, you are the best dressed coach in the SEC.
Ah.
Thank you. I'm always honest. It's going through my mind like this walk got longer than it used to be with the construction. And I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, I hope our players aren't getting tired.
Yeah, yeah.
Do we need to get
It's a
some of
lot
those,
longer.
water?
I think it's longer than you realize.
Yeah.
Do we need to get some of those like water tables, like when you run a marathon, or you just like halfway, you can just like reach out and handle it?
Yeah, some orange slices.
We need a lane train with cars, and you could drive the train through, and everybody could
There you
ride.
go.
What do you think, JJ? Lane train? Ride a train through the Walk of Champions? Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Y'all get up for JJ. We got JJ here. We'll have a minute. That'd be cool. Then you won't be tired.
They could have the train for fans afterwards when they're like
Yeah.
struggling to walk out of the stadium. The train could like get them back to their, hopefully not cars, back to their
You're right.
hotels.
Right. Take them all the way to the house.
Yeah.
No doubt.
We just want to have you driving it after the game.
Yeah.
JJ, we could start a company, a train company.
JJ's
for after
Oxford
the
guy.
game.
That may be the deal.
Yes, we need to figure out a way to make some money so we can keep him
JJ
here
and
next
K
year.
Train.
Hey, this was my idea. Now, y'all got to at least throw me $1 or something, okay? All right. What else you got?
All right, you got several questions in here about Jackson Dart, the quarterback. I'm going to ask both. One is, do you feel like Jackson will be back for his senior year? And two is, how is Jackson doing? I know you don't necessarily comment on injuries, but let's just say hypothetically, Jackson may or may not play.
He's fine.
There you go.
So he'll play. And, I mean, I guess I can kind of speak for him. You know, he's said he's coming back, so we're planning on him being back next year and getting better. And then I'm sure when you have him up here, JJ will announce he's coming back next year, too.
Yeah, JJ got another year, right?
Trap.
Man, we worked on Trey Harris hard, JJ, when he was up here the other day. We were trying to get him back.
Get them all back.
Yep.
Question from Bart Posey in the room. He says, does the team stay in Oxford here in Oxford on Friday nights, or are they back staying in Tupelo?
It's a good one. We were staying in Tupelo, then I had a theory. Your brain remembers things as it experiences them over and over. So I'm like, why are we staying in Tupelo and driving an hour anyway to the game when we can just stay here and drive, an hour and 50 minutes to the game? So now we're staying here, and in our heads treat it like a home game. They're same meals they eat, the same hotel and everything. So
I love it.
We play a lot better at home than the road, so maybe that'll help.
All right. That's what we're going to do for the Bulldogs.
Question from Jesse on the live stream says, where were you on the Dayton Wade catch, and what did you think about it?
Wow.
You remember the score at that time?
You're probably yelling at someone.
I wasn't as excited as I probably should have been. So, but it was a cool catch.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's a great video of Drew Carter, Keith Carter's son, in the background.
Right.
His eyes are as big as they can possibly be. He's got his hands in his pockets.
Like, whoa.
But his eyes are huge. It's so funny. And there's a still going around that's all over Twitter now that is hilarious.
Yep. Yeah. Drew's a great guy. Good dude. He's had Dayton's had like 3 of those, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fallback catch and the 2 one-hand. It's amazing.
Amelia, age 10, from in the room, has a question. She says,
Where's Amelia? Hey, Amelia.
There we go.
All right.
She says, how old is Juice, and do you have any other pets?
Ooh. How old is Juice? 2/2/22, whatever that was. He was born on 2/22/22.
So he's going to be 2 in February.
There you go.
There you go.
So what's that, like a little over 1.5? Okay.
He also has B. Hud and me as pets, too. You know, isn't that right?
No, I have whatever pet of the week Landry finds. So
Yeah.
last week when I went over, there was another dog.
Oh, really?
I'm like, this is not happening.
Juice is saying this ain't happening either.
Not trained, like, bad idea. And she's like, well, I just found it, and I just wanted to keep it. I'm like, you don't even pay attention to Juice anymore. We're not getting another one.
That you'll have to raise, too.
And then there's a hamster that gets out and builds its own house at other areas in the house that she doesn't pay attention to. So I just keep getting stuck with these pets. And she's in the dorm now.
Yeah. Leave you with the hamster.
So to answer your question, yes.
Yes.
Yes. The answer is yes. All
and
right.
we had 2 rabbits, but we gave those away, at least this summer.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
All right, last question from the live stream from Pamela. She says, with early signing day coming up, how do you juggle both being in season and getting ready for signing day in December?
It's just a lot nowadays. I mean, it's not a really good schedule that's thought out, and so basically you got all kind of, you're still playing, then you're recruiting your own guys, and you got portal guys, and you got high school guys, so it just is what it is.
All right, before we let you go, JJ's coming up. I always let you talk about our guest player. Tell us a little bit about, his coming here from Auburn and what he means to Ole Miss football.
Well, when he was in high school, I got hired here, and he had like a week or something before signing, and so I kept calling him, and he wouldn't answer the phone.
Oh, he
So
already
I
had a
called
plan.
his Coach Cutcliffe, and he's like, JJ does not want to talk to you. So then he didn't talk to me for a year, and then he decided to come back, so it worked out.
So it worked out.
Yes.
But you planted that seed. That's right.
He says he never got the calls from me or something. You can ask him about it.
Cell phone.
He was too big time.
But
now look at him. He's a 3-way player. He plays defense.
Right.
plays special teams, offense, four-way player, plays tight end, and plays quarterback.
I saw that direct snap. We need more of that, by the way.
Yeah, we false started because when he was in, the student section got so excited they cheered so loud that we couldn't hear his clap, so they false started.
Yeah. It's stronger hands.
Hey, you scored on that play, right? Okay.
We false started.
But we false started.
A different time.
Different time.
Yeah.
All right. JJ, thanks so much for being here. We'll have you next. Coach, wish you the very best. Thanks for swinging by, and let's get after ULM.
All right, guys. Thanks. Have a good weekend.
Lane Kiffin. We'll continue with our show here at Boo Ray, Rep Talk, with JJ Pegues next on the Ole Miss Radio Network.
Boo-Ray is Oxford's upscale down-home restaurant on the square. Now for more Reb Talk, here's David Callum.
Slot receiver goes in motion. Jackson. There's a snap to Horton. Runs to his right, being chased by J.J. Pegues. Pegues grabs him and slings him down back at the 33-yard line. There's a sack for the Oxford, Mississippi native. A loss of 10 yards.
Give it up for JJ. Got that sack.
Yes, sir.
Got a few in his hip pocket. All right, let me ask you just out of the gate. Well, I got to read this little thing about you here. Tonight's player interview is brought to you by Guthrie's Chicken at 1506 University Avenue in Oxford. We appreciate them. They'll help you with tailgate stuff. You can call them at 662-380-5522 for all your catering needs. And they've got a full list of their locations at guthrie'schicken.com. Would you rather get a sack or would you rather take a direct snap and score?
I said a little of both just because I really like getting a sack just to shoot my boy in arrow. That's my little signature move. But I also miss the, scoring touchdowns and stuff like that.
At the point where you were, how many of you saw him in Oxford? We got some local people saw him in Oxford High School. Look at this. That's pretty cool. Man, we knew he was going to be good, didn't we? Man, killing people in high school. But at the point, because you could do both sides and you came out of the gate as a tight end originally, but you still really have both those in your system, don't you?
Yeah, so at first it was a hard task for me just to switch over from tight end to D-line. And, Coach Kiffin harp on the culture one, it's not about me. And I just felt like for that team when I was at Auburn, just, giving myself away and, just putting myself in a great position for not only myself, but for my team. So I thank the coaching staff there for giving me that opportunity and Kiffin giving me another opportunity when he was recruiting me at tight end to allow me to play defense and offense.
Got over there and got a win over those guys.
Yes, sir, we did.
That was nice, little road win over there. Great school. Coach Freeze, of course, we knew from here, and I think he'll do well at Auburn as well. Then you get over here and they put you in the defensive mix, and you've really flourished. I think you've done a great job.
Yes, sir. Coach Joyner does a great job with just allowing us to be us. And Coach Golden called, his defense is really just, athletes on the field and just being able to make plays, sideline to sideline from D-line to free safety. So I feel like they do a great job just allowing us to be us in the defense.
You're in the middle, but because of your athletic ability, if you break a tackle, they're in trouble.
Yes, sir.
Break a block.
Sir.
They're in trouble because you've got great speed. And also, it might be interesting as your future progresses and get to the next level, you might be an edge guy too. Who knows?
Yes, sir. Hey, that's the plan.
Whatever they say, huh?
Yes, sir. Whatever they say.
Be Hud.
It's been really fun to watch you this year. It seems like you've progressed on the defensive line. With Coach Golding coming in, was there a lot of difference? Because Coach Joyner had been here. Was there a lot of difference in scheme for you, or was it kind of the same type calls, the same type, your job is the same no matter what?
I feel like it was just because I was usually playing a zero nose, and we was mainly a 3-down front, and now me going from a 3-eye, a 3-tech to a 2-eye to a 5 technique, and just moving around a lot. I feel like it shows my athleticism, and not only mine, like J.I., Cedric Johnson, and my fellow teammates on the D-line. And he does a great job, like I said, with just putting us on one-on-one matchups with maybe the less physical guy or the slower guy. So Coach Golden does a great job with that.
B. Hud and I have talked to some of the other guys. We had Ivy up here. Yeah. The depth in that room now has really helped, hasn't it?
Yes, sir. It does definitely for Joyner, just being able to roll people and we stay fresh, and not us playing 60, 70 snaps a game. We could be able to play 40, 50 good snaps and not put bad table film.
Now, what's your dad's name?
Jerry Pegues.
Jerry Pegues.
Yes, sir. But they call him Head.
Head. All right, so he played at Oxford High too, right?
Yes, sir.
And went to Arkansas State.
Yes, sir, he did.
So I'm calling your games now. But I called a game way back there where he scored a touchdown against us for Arkansas State.
And he always tell me that story.
Well, here, let's listen to it. Y'all want to hear it? Here it is. From the 2, 3rd down. Rebel defense trying to keep the Indians away from a TD today. Kilo goes wide right to short side of the field. Now he'll go in motion to the far side. There's a snap. The give, a fake to Kilo. Now Lemon rolls right, wide open the end zone. Touchdown as a pass goes to Jerry Pegues.
Hey.
The Oxford High School product. And Northwest Ranger playing for Arkansas State comes home, and his fans, and I'm sure he has several here today, will be pleased with that one as Arkansas State will get a TD. That was a great play call, Pete.
Sure was. Kilo comes in motion. They fake the handoff to him going to the wide side. Lemon bootlegs back to the right. Pegues blocks down for 2 counts, kind of like a tight end delay, comes right out into the flat. Linebacker loses him. Well executed by Arkansas State.
Now, I don't know if Jerry did all that mess. I think he just ran the end zone.
What he told me was he scored like a 45-yard touchdown.
Oh, no.
So now he just – now that I
you
heard
know how
that,
fish get bigger.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's crazy. I can't believe he told me that.
But he killed our shutout.
Yes, sir, he did.
I mean, man. But how much fun is that?
That was fun.
That he played on the same field.
Yes,
he got a
sir.
chance to play there, too.
Mm-hmm. He just, it all started with him, like just me wanting to play football and definitely play tight end. And I would say if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing right now. And I really thank him, and I appreciate everything he's done for me.
ULM, let's go get him.
Yes, sir.
You ready? Y'all give it up for J.J. Pegues. Appreciate you, my friend. Good to see you. We'll be back with some final thoughts shortly on the Ole Miss Radio Network.
Hotty Toddy Ole Miss. More Reb Talk from Boo-Ray on the Square continues now. Here's David Kellum.
Great to have JJ tonight, senior from Oxford, 31 tackles, 6.5 TFLs, 3 sacks, couple quarterback hurries. He's got career 12.5 tackles for losses with 6 sacks. He's on the Senior Bowl watch list, the Werfel Trophy nominee, and just a great guy, as you could very well tell. Raised right by his family. There's been a bunch of them that grew up in this area. There's been several with the Piggies name that played very well for both the schools here locally in high school. So we appreciate him coming by. All right, got to thank Brandon Hudspeth. Y'all get it again for B. Hud. He did a good job. Joseph Kennedy, our in-house engineer. Brock and Kieran, we'll let you get a clap, too, for passing pieces of paper around. You'll have a better job someday.
Barely.
I know Kieran. I don't know about Brock, but she will. That's for sure. But I want to thank Dave Pulaski, who's my studio host for baseball as well, does an incredible job. We appreciate him doing some Reb Talk for us. 11 o'clock will be the kickoff. 9 o'clock will be airtime. Rebel Hoops tomorrow night. Tad Pad against Sam Houston State at 8 o'clock. Airtime will be 7:30 for that. All right, I got to give a shout-out. Chicago people, y'all come up here quick. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. Okay, so this couple moved here from Chicago. How long ago? 2 months ago. Their daughter, Brittany, is still in Chicago. So y'all come around here. Stand right over here. They wanted me to say hi to Brittany. I'm going to do better than that. Brittany's fixing to see them on our live stream. Hey, Brittany! You can move to Oxford, too, you know. Hey, thank y'all. Good to see you. All right. We appreciate you. We're looking forward to next week. Will be Tuesday night because of the Egg Bowl. Tuesday night, 6 o'clock, we'll have another Reb Talk right here at Boo-Ray.
That's right.
You ready?
I'm ready. You know, we can't. Obviously, big game this weekend because it's the next game. We can't overlook ULM. If anybody, we got to make sure that we take care of business and then get ready for Egg Bowl week.
Yep.
It's a big one.
Egg Bowl around the corner, too. We'll talk
right.
about that next Tuesday night. And hopefully you'll be here this weekend for the ULM game, too. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week on Reb Talk.